Gould-Waslohn, and I have got another ball workout for you. So using a large fitness ball, it can be really any size. I don't believe we'll be doing any sitting on it, so really size does not matter, whether it's larger or smaller than mine. As long as you've got a large fitness ball, you can do this workout with me. It's going to be a little bit more cardio intensive. I've taken some exercises from John Gary. So some of this is inspired by him, and then other exercises have come just from different places throughout my education in the last 10 years of Pilates. So we're going to start standing. Let's get started holding onto the ball. And you'll note my ball has some stuff in it, makes it a little heavier. Your ball doesn't need to have that, but just note that if you hear it, that's what's going on. So we're going to start holding onto the ball, feet fairly wide. And I've got my feet in kind of a 45-degree angle. So we're going to start with some sumo squats. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see my spine. We're going to hinge at the hips, hinge at the knees, tap the floor with the ball. So notice my back is straight. I'm not rounded, so back flat. And then we're going to lift up, stand up, and reach the ball up. And again, hinge at the hips and knees, belly button to spine, tap the floor, lift up, reach up. And again, so pulling the abdominals to the spine. Spine stays in neutral. Slide the shoulder blades down your back as you take the arms up. Stick the booty back as you hinge. Inhale, lower. Exhale, scoop and lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. So just getting some movement through the hips, knees, shoulders. Saran wrap your abdominals around your spine. And about 3 more. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Okay, let's hold on to the ball. Arms straight out. And simply hinge at the hips. And lift and stand. So now not bending the knees. We're hinging at the hip joints. Pull the tailbone back. And tuck the tail under. Inhale, reach the hips back. Exhale, lift. Again, the spine stays neutral. Inhale, hinge. Exhale, lift. 1 more. Inhale, hinge. And exhale, lift. Okay, go ahead and place that ball down. The next exercise is going to involve a bit of balance. So, place that ball down. Place your right foot on the ball. If you need to, you can hold on to something close by or grab a chair to hold on to. So standing on your left leg, right foot up on the ball, hands onto your hips, or hold on to whatever you need to hold on to. Press slightly down into the ball, and we're going to straighten and bend your knee. Pushing the ball forward and back. Focusing on your posture here. So collarbones wide, pulling the abdominals back. And focusing a little bit more on balance now. Think of lifting your pelvis up away from your standing leg, creating just a little air pocket in your hip joint. Pushing down into the ball. Try to keep as much surface area of your foot on the ball as possible. So we're kind of pointing the foot, or plantar flexion as you move forward, dorsiflexion as you move back, which is to say like a point as you move forward and a flex as you go back. And 1 more. And we'll switch legs. So same thing on the other leg. Again, hold on to something if you need that extra help with your balance. Square the hips as much as possible. So let the left hip come down. Make sure that those hips are aimed straight forward. Belly button to spine, push down into the ball. And we'll straighten it and bend. Point as you straighten, flex as you bend. Ooh, pushing into the ball. Getting taller. So there's this sense of opposition. I love opposition. We're thinking of pushing down into the ball with your foot, lifting up through the crown of your head. And we find that resistance within ourselves. We're decompressing the spine in this way. Think of lifting your pelvis up away from your standing leg, rooting your standing leg down into the floor. So again, there's that opposition. Pushing down through your whole standing leg, lifting up through the pelvis and spine. And 2 more. Collarbones wide, belly button back. And 1 more, forward. way to your shins, and you're gonna press your shins or your knees into the ball. So this might look a little bit different depending on the height of your ball. I'm gonna place my hands on the ball. I am pushing my knees forward. And from here, we're gonna do an ankle movement. So I want you to lift your heels, releve, and lower the heels. So lift the heels and lower. And the ball will move a little bit. I'm putting constant pressure into the ball. Notice my heels don't come all the way down. You might have more flexibility so that your heels can come down, or they might not. The point is to get that movement of the ankle as high as you can lift the ankle, as low as you can press down. And then maybe you can come up for genie arms, shoulders down. And again, feel free to hold on to something for balance if you need it. Pull the abdominals back. We're still pressing into the ball. So my weight is forward into the ball. I would not be able to do this without the ball being there. 3, and 2, warming up those ankles, and 1 more. Okay, now bring your hands onto the ball again. We will still push the knees into the ball. You're gonna come up and find your balance. So try and lift the feet up. And I like to do this slowly, rather than just kind of jumping on the ball. Jumping doesn't tend to work so well. So moving slow, and this is a dynamic balance because that ball wants to roll away, and so we have to work to keep ourselves on the ball. And it's not quite as hard as it looks, but you can always keep 1 foot or 2 feet down on the floor if you prefer to. And we're gonna balance here for about 20 more seconds. Notice if you're rounding your spine, see if you can lengthen and find more of a neutral. And lift the abdominals up. So that sounds counterintuitive, but we can engage the abdominals, lift the abdominals without rounding the spine. It's a subtle action when we do that. We've got about 5 more seconds, according to my internal clock. Shoulders away from your ears. Okay, now here's our transition. We're gonna come down onto our hands, or take your hands to the floor rather. Okay, so knees are on the ball, shoulders over the wrists. Spread your fingers wide. We're gonna tuck the tail, pull that ball in nice and close. Now we'll take a ladybug out. So you're gonna inhale, lengthen and find your plank. It's a nice supported plank with the ball under your legs. And then lift your hips, tuck your tail and pull the ball in. Inhale, lengthen and extend, find your plank. Exhale, scoop and round, pull the belly in. Inhale, we lengthen, shoulders away from the neck. Exhale, scoop and round. Remember that your head is attached to your spine. So if you don't move your head, then your neck does not get movement with the rest of the spine. So sometimes I see people and they keep their head down as they go in their plank, and that's not as pretty. It also doesn't feel good in the shoulders and the neck. So let that head be an extension of the neck and spine. Let's take 2 more. Breathe however makes sense to you. Scoop the belly up and in. And I lied, we're gonna do 1 more. Scoop in and lengthen out. Okay, we're gonna roll back just a little bit so that we can get the feet on the ball, on the floor. So feet on the ball, feet fairly wide. And we're thinking sort of a plank in the idea that there's a straight line from your head down to your heels. So I'm lifting my chest a little bit. I've got my pelvis and my belly on the ball. If you need more support, like if this starts to hurt your lower back, you can roll the ball higher up to your chest, and that'll support you more. But having the ball closer to your hips is going to be more challenge in the body. So if you need more assistance, walk back a little bit more. All right, we're finding that long line from your head to your heels. The back of the body is engaged a lot here, so we're engaging through the glutes, a little bit through the hamstrings. Press the pubic bone forward, so find a posterior tilt. Okay, scoop the belly in, and we're gonna take those hands up to the ball. Shoulder blades draw down the back, and then walk your hands back, palms facing down. Okay, from here, palms are gonna stay facing the floor. You're gonna open your arms out to the sides, maybe take those arms forward, and then out to the sides and back. Out and forward, out and back. Keeping that chest lifted, belly button to spine. So we have to keep engaging those abdominals, lifting up through the abdominals. Otherwise, the lower back is going to take over. And if it has taken over, Again, walk your feet back, have that ball on your chest. I'm having to modify with the wall here, but do like my left arm is doing, forward and back. And if that's too much, maybe you just go out to the sides and then back. Let's try one more. And I lied. Let's go out to the sides and hold. From here, we're gonna flap our wings. We're gonna lift up and lift up and lift up. Squeeze those shoulder blades together and down your back for 4. Belly button to spine, 3 and 2 and 1. And just rest over the ball. Take a stretch here through the spine. Okay, so from here, we are going to walk forward. So you're rolling the ball toward your pelvis. Okay, so we're in a plank position here, supported by the ball. Wrists underneath your shoulders, fingers spread wide, and shoulders draw down the back, engaging the serratus, armpits to waistband. Now, scoop the abdominals in, squeeze from the backs of the legs, and lift your legs up. So we complete that plank movement. Now we're gonna think some swan. So we're gonna think back extension. I want you to reach the chest forward, extending the upper back. Draw those shoulder blades together. Broaden the collarbones. Like somebody's spreading your chest open and squeezing the back more. Now we're gonna keep this shape in the body. I'm gonna have you bend your elbows. As your chest comes down, lift those legs up. And then press it up, the legs come lower. And legs lift up as the chest goes down, and lift the sternum up. Inhale, so we're squeezing through the backs of the legs. That stays super active. Your booty's squeezing like crazy to keep that shape. 3 more, inhale. And the arms get a little workout, exhale. Inhale, legs lift. Exhale, press, and 1 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, press. Again, walk back. And just round over the ball, give that ball a hug. Maybe roll side to side. Okay, and we're gonna go into some side kneeling. So, up on your knees with the ball next to you on one side. So you're gonna lean your hips over into the ball. And we're gonna take one leg out, take your hand onto the floor. So you have a hand on the floor, hopefully underneath that shoulder. If you've got a bigger ball and you can't reach the floor, you can hold on to the ball like this. So do what you need to do. Notice that that bottom knee is not underneath my hip, but it's at an angle. So we're just using it as a little kickstand, not so much for support. We're mostly pushing our weight into that ball. And we're gonna try to keep the ball still here. So make sure the hips are squared forward, that top hip isn't back or forward, right stacked. Okay, shoulders away from the neck, long spine. Lift your top leg up and tap down. So just a simple up and down. Keeping your leg parallel, knee pointing forward, belly button back. And we're trying to stabilize the ball as much as possible using the abdominals. Breathe however makes sense to you. Draw those shoulder blades down the back, scapular depression. You can use a hand on the ball for more support if you'd like, or take it away for less support or more challenge. Let's lift and hold little circles here. Going slow and small. Try to keep that ball absolutely still. It's gonna wanna wiggle in opposition to your leg. Try not to let it. So we're engaging those deep stabilizers within the pelvic floor and abdominals. Reverse, not a lot of weight on that bottom arm. Mostly using the abdominals and obliques for support. All right, lift that leg a little bit higher. We're gonna flex the foot, hinge at the hip and swing forward. Exhale, point your foot and swing back. You'll notice it's not as large of a movement as we would usually do, because again, we're gonna try to stabilize the ball. Keep the leg as high as possible, and we should feel some heat now at the side of your hip. That glute medius. Inhale forward, exhale back. Get a little longer through the neck. Regal long neck. 1 more, inhale forward. And exhale back. And now take that foot down. From here, let's take both hands behind your head. I'm gonna slide down, or actually get the ball a little higher up onto my rib cage for this one. So we've got both our knee and our foot down, belly button to spine, and we're gonna take a little side lift, a little oblique crunch. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. So both hands are behind the head, if that's comfortable for you. Pressing the lower ribs down in order to lift the shoulders up. Press down to lift up. So hey, there's our opposition again. Press down into the ball to lift the upper part of the torso up. Pressing down to lift up, down through the feet, up through the crown of the head. 2 more. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. 1 more, maybe a little bit further, and lower. And we'll stretch both arms overhead. Maybe grab onto one wrist and really pull that arm down toward the floor. Breathing into the side ribs that are exposed toward the ceiling. Breathing into the tight spots, the tight places. All right, let's come back up for the other side. So we'll walk that ball around, starting kneeling. All right, hip against the ball. We're leaning sideways. I think of this almost like a side plank, but we're supported by the ball. Have your hand on the floor, or if that ball is taller, you can hold on to the ball here. It's gonna be a little more oblique that way. Okay, you can have your hand on the ball or hand on your hip. We're lifting the top leg, the free leg up, and tapping down. Lift and lower. So we're pushing a lot of our weight of the torso into the ball, trying to keep the ball still. Slide the scapula down your back, scapular depression. Draw your abdominal wall to your spine. That's for support, for stability. So we're asking the deepest layer of abdominal tissue and pelvic floor tissue to engage, to stabilize. So our stabilizers are deep. Our movers are a little more superficial. And let's lift up and hold. Shoulders draw down the back and little circles. Stabilize that ball. So check in, be quiet with your mind. Notice if it's wiggling. Even those little tiny wiggles that aren't seen but felt. So you can get those to be even more quiet or get them to stop altogether. Reverse those circles. Lift the leg a little higher. Yeah, quiet the mind. Notice if it's wiggling. Try to get it to stop wiggling. Shoulders away from the neck. So we're really asking a lot of the abdominals, both in stability and in strength. Lift the leg up. Now we'll flex the foot, swing forward, hinging at the hip. Exhale, point your foot, swing back. Again, we don't want the ball to move in opposition to the leg. That would be fun, but it's not the work we're doing. Unfortunately, we're trying to stabilize the ball. 1 more, lift that leg a little higher. And we'll set the foot down. If you have a shorter ball, you're gonna scoot over a little bit more so that the ball hits you in the rib cage rather than the hip. So more rib cage than hip. Hands behind your head. So we're planting that foot down, planting your shin down, and elongate through the crown of your head. So even though your hands are behind your head, try not to get those shoulders up high, drop them down low. Belly button to spine, inhale. Exhale, take this slow. Exhale, lift, side crunch. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lengthen out through the crown of your head as you lift. So the sense that you're gonna get taller, that you're gonna go out to go up. Reaching out through the top of the head to lift up. Pressing the lower ribs down into the ball to get that height. For every action, there's that equal and opposite reaction. So in order to get up, something's got to go down. Or maybe multiple somethings. So we're pressing the lower ribs down. We're pressing down through the feet and shin. Drawing the shoulder blades down and reaching out through the spine, the top of the spine, through the crown of the head. 1 more. Lift, 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 maybe a little more. And lower, and let's take that stretch. Stretch both arms overhead. Maybe grab your top arm and pull it. And now your shoulder can be up by your ear, but try to be relaxed with it. So we're really just trying to find the length through that whole side of your body. Maybe breathe in to that exposed side of rib. So if you could just breathe into that side of your lungs. Breathing into the tight spots. All right, let's come on up. And we're gonna transition to lie on your back with your feet on the ball. Lie on your back with your feet on the ball. All right, lying on your back, heels up on the ball, and we're gonna have the legs in sort of a tabletop shape. So we have a 90-degree bend at the knees, 90-degree bend at the hips, and we're gonna flex those feet. Open your arms out to the sides and glue your shoulder blades down into the floor. We're gonna keep the knees together as well. Inhale, you're gonna roll the ball over to the right, so your knees fall over. Keep the left shoulder down. Exhale, use the abdominals. Deepen your belly to come back in and up. Over to the left. Inhale, the knees fall. Exhale, pull the abdominals in or down to bring the hips and knees back up to the center. Inhale to the right. Exhale, pull the belly in. Scoop the abdominals to lift your knees. Inhale, over. Exhale, deepen the belly down to lift your knees up. Again, that sense of opposition. In order to bring your knees up, we don't want to think up, we want to pull the belly down. Inhale, over. Exhale, deepen your abdominals. Keep the shoulder blades glued to the floor, so you don't want to go so far that your opposite shoulder starts to lift. We also don't want to go so far that we can't bring ourselves back with the abdominals. We don't want to have to engage the back or the shoulders of the neck. Just keep it in the abdominals. And it should feel good as well. Let's go one more each way. Some light abdominal oblique work. And one more to the left. Inhale, over. Exhale, deepen your abdominals. And come back. Okay, we're gonna press the heels down into the ball. You can keep your arms out to the sides or take them wherever is comfortable. I want constant pressure into the ball. And we're gonna push that ball forward, straighten the legs. And then bend your knees, keep pushing down into the ball, pull the ball toward you. And again, push that ball forward, stretch the legs, and bend and pull. Keep your pelvis on the floor. So you're pushing down into the ball as much as you can, but only so much as you can keep your pelvis on the floor. We will lift it up a little later, don't you worry. Bending and straightening, just getting the backs of the legs turned on a little bit more, the hamstrings. I tend to be more of a quad dominant person, and when I'm sitting a lot, like I am now, the quads and hip flexors get a little more tight, so I like to focus on the hamstrings, the backs of the legs. Some people are more quad dominant, some are more hamstring dominant. So you can make this more quad if you know that you are a hamstring dominator. You could take weight off of the ball and engage more of the front of the leg. But if you've been feeling tight through the front of the hip, you're gonna wanna really push down. Okay, so go ahead and bend your knees. We're gonna take the left foot off the ball. We're gonna do that same thing just with one leg now. So you're pushing down into the ball, bend and straighten. And now we can push down a lot more, and your pelvis will stay down because your one leg is not as strong as two legs. Stabilizing that leg that's up. Pulling the abdominals in, relaxing the shoulders. And we might feel some engagement in the calf muscle, in the lower leg now. Keep pushing down. Maybe push a little bit more. And one more, out and in. Okay, switching legs. Press down into the ball, straighten and bend and stretch. Relax the shoulder blades, lengthen the back of your neck. Pull the abdominals in. So you're pushing down into the ball, scooping the abdominals in and down to the floor, getting long through the crown of your head and out through the sits bones. And let's take two more. And bring it in. So we're gonna make this more complicated. Let's place both heels on the ball, hands behind your head. You can keep your head down if you prefer to, but I'm gonna give you some options to add the abdominals here, or I'm gonna add the abdominals. Lift your elbows up just into your periphery. So they're not straight up, they're not straight out to the sides, they're somewhere in between, kind of a 45-degree angle. Press down into the ball, scoop the abdominals in, so we're curling the tailbone up slightly. Keep your head heavy, so your neck is not gonna work here, it's the arms and abdominals. We're gonna use those arms and abdominals to curl up. Let's go ahead and push the ball out and in a few times. So pressing down into the ball. Maybe we inhale to move out, exhale to pull in. Inhale out, exhale, pull in. Now, Pull that ball in, take one leg up to tabletop. So just one foot on the ball. And we're gonna inhale, send the ball out, exhale, pull it in. And just two more here, inhale out, exhale in, curl up just a little higher. Hold here. So I have not switched legs, I'm still on that first leg. We're gonna send the other leg forward. So I'm straightening one leg, the other leg is bent, and then we're gonna switch and switch, kind of a march in place. Pressing down into the ball, scoop the belly in. And four more, four. Press into the ball, scoop the belly in and curl up, two more. And one more for fun, press out, pull it in, bend both knees, place your heel down. Other leg to tabletop, we'll press out and in, two more. We'll add the other leg in a moment, one more out and in. Hold that leg bent, straighten your free leg. And now we'll bend as we push the ball forward, straighten as we pull the ball in. Bend as you push the ball forward, straighten as you pull the ball in. Press down into the ball, press down into your hands with your head, curl up just a little bit more. So your head is pressing into your hands are pressing into your head. Lengthen the back of the neck, scoop the belly in, three. Let's do two more, two. Curl up a little bit higher, last one. Both heels onto the ball and lower down. Just take a little rest here. Maybe rock your head side to side. Maybe rock the knees side to side. Or maybe rock the head and knees in opposition. So nose and knees go in opposite directions. Let your hair get messed up a little bit. And back to the center. Okay, we're gonna get into the lower obliques just a little bit more. So again, knees are bent, feet are up on top of the ball. I'm just resting here for a moment. The feet are resting. Lift your elbows up into your periphery again, that 45-degree angle. Press your lower ribs down. Elongate the back of your neck. Press your head into your hands into your head. And again, we're curling up. Okay, now from here, we're rotating to the right. So we're over on the right shoulder blade. The left shoulder blade is off the floor. And I'm reaching my left elbow toward my right knee. Okay, we're gonna take the left foot off the ball. Now we're gonna push that ball forward and back. Inhale, press the ball forward. Exhale, pull it in. Reach your knee toward your opposite elbow. Inhale, stretch out, push that ball down. Exhale, knee to elbow. So the upper body stays stable. We stay in that rotation. Only the leg and ball move. Inhale, lengthen out, exhale, pull it in. Keep reaching your elbow toward your knee as you pull your knee to your elbow. Staying curled up, two more, inhale out. Exhale in and one more, inhale out. Exhale in, no break. Come back to the center, place the left foot down, rotate left, pick the right foot up. Inhale, send the leg forward, exhale, pull it in. Right knee is reaching to the left knee. Right elbow is reaching to the left knee. And you're pulling that left knee to your right elbow. So opposite limbs are trying to connect. Push down into the ball. Scoop the belly in. Curl up just a little bit higher and maintain it. For four. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curl. Two. And one more. Back to the center and lower down, rest. You can hug your knees into your chest and rock side to side, or straighten the legs out and rock side to side, or whatever feels good for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and bend your knees, and we're gonna walk the feet higher up on the ball. We're gonna open the knees out wide. So if we were in yoga, we'd call this Supta Baddha Konasana. But we have the knees wide, soles of the feet together, and they don't have to touch. That's okay if they don't. And I've got the ball pretty close to my torso. Okay, arms can be wherever is comfortable. I like down by the sides with palms up, shoulder blades flat against the floor or the mat. So I want you to keep the ball here. Of anything, we want to pull the ball closer to you. We don't want to be pushing the ball away. Again, if you tend to use your quads, you're going to start to push that ball away. Try not to. Really pull it in, use the backs of the legs. Open those knees a little bit more. Take a deep breath in so we find an inner thigh stretch. Exhale, lift your pelvis up. Open the knees even more. Scoop the belly in, pubic bone up. Inhale to stay. Collarbones wide, chest open. Exhale, roll down through the spine. Inhale, let the tailbone come to the floor. Exhale, curl the tailbone up. Open the knees more as you lift your pubic bone. So we're trying to open the knees even more. Open the chest, deepen your abdominals. Inhale to stay. Pull that ball in. Exhale, roll down through the spine. So let's find that spinal articulation. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, curl, tuck the tail, and lift. It's slight. That spinal articulation is slight, but it's there. Open the knees even more. Inhale. Here we can exaggerate that spinal articulation. Exhale as you roll down, melting from the top of the spine all the way down. Tailbone comes down last. Inhale. We reverse that to come up. Exhale, the tailbone curls up. Pubic bone is lifting up. And we come up. I'm on those mid-thoracic, mid and upper thoracic, shoulder blades heavy. Open the knees more. Inhale, pull the ball to you. Exhale, roll down. Open the lower back as you come down. Let's do one more for fun. Inhale. Exhale, curl and lift. Open the knees more. Keep pulling the ball toward you. Don't let it move away. Broaden your collarbones. Press down through the backs of your arms. And take another breath in. Lift that pubic bone. Exhale, roll down. Pick up the ball. Transfer that ball to your hands. Okay. So feet are going to start on the floor. Feet hip width apart. Knees are bent. Shoulders down. Back of the neck is long. So we're engaging the abdominals here isometrically. So we're pulling the abdominals in without actually moving the spine. So shoulders stay heavy. All right, toss and catch your ball. Throw it up, catch it. Throw it and catch it. And this is where my ball is kind of silly because I've got this weight of these little beads in the ball. So my ball is hard to throw. But I want you to toss your ball as high up as you can. That's going to work the triceps more. And you'll feel them by the end of this. It's also going to give you more time to react and figure out your game plan to catch the ball. The higher up you toss the ball, the more time you have to catch it. Keep the shoulders down. And if you lose your ball, you gotta go get it. That's part of the exercise. Okay, take your right leg to tabletop. Toss and catch that ball. Deepen your abdominals. Trying to toss that ball a little bit higher. And now straighten your right leg up to the ceiling. Maybe straight for you is not all the way straight. Maybe it's a little bent, that's okay. Keep your lower back against the floor now. So we are tucking the tail under, posterior tilt. And now start to lower that leg. Let's find a 45-degree angle. So halfway between up and down. 3 more. 3, 2, a little higher. 1. Okay, switch legs. Left leg to tabletop, right foot is down. Toss and catch. Throw it up, catch it. Throw it up, catch it. My triceps are tired. I don't know about you. Pull the abdominals in as you throw that ball up. Try and keep the neck relaxed. Straighten your leg up to the ceiling. Toss and catch. Scoop those abdominals in. And so lower that leg, or start to lower that leg forward. The lower you go, the more challenge it's going to be in your abdominals. But if you start to feel it in your lower back, that's too far. 5, 4, a little higher. 3, 2, 1. Hold on to that ball. Place your left foot down. All right, holding on wide on the ball to these sides. Squeeze the ball between your palms. Press the shoulders down. Press your lower back down. And we're going to take the arms back. Inhale. Exhale, deepen your abdominals and lift the ball up. So I want you to keep your lower back and your lower ribs pressed down as you take the ball back. Inhale. Exhale, deepen your abdominal wall to lift your arms back up. Inhale back. Exhale, armpits reach to the waist, the obliques, the upper and lower obliques engage to lift the ball up. So see if you can find that connection between your arms and your abdominals. Squeeze the ball between your hands. And if you can't feel that connection, make it up, pretend. Draw one in your head, from your armpits to the ribs, crossing at the belly button to the opposite hip. Maybe if you want more work, take those legs up to tabletop. So if you need an added challenge, take the legs to tabletop. Lower back and lower ribs stay into the floor, pushing down as much as you can. Squeeze your inner thighs. Use the abdominals to lift your arms. Squeeze the ball. Inhale back. Exhale, deepen the belly and lift. If you want even more challenge, maybe you straighten the legs up to the ceiling. Shoulders heavy, elbows straight. Inhale back. Exhale, deepen the belly and lift. If you want even more challenge, maybe you take the legs forward. Only as much as you can keep your lower back pressing into the floor. Lower abdominals are working. Squeeze the ball. Inhale, 3. Lift. And inhale back, 2. Exhale, deepen the belly and lift. 1 more. Inhale back. Exhale, lift. Grab the ball with your ankles or with your feet. Open your arms out to the sides. Squeeze that ball. Again, lower back is pressing down. We're going to twist the legs. Take one leg forward, one leg back, and then go the other way. Around the world. Around and twist. Relax those shoulders, arms get a break, so let them take a break. Send that tension down to your abdominals and into your legs. For those of you who tend to need more hamstring dominant, this might feel like a lot of work for the quadriceps, and that's a good thing. One more each way, lower back stays down. And bend your knees, place the ball down onto the floor. Okay, keep that ball really close to your butt. Okay, we're gonna walk the feet over the ball. Okay, so as far over the ball as you can. And the idea here is that we're gonna grab the ball with the backs of the legs. If you need more assistance, if that ball is slipping away or if you have a big ball, walk your feet wider. So that's gonna give you a nice good grip. Okay, arms can be wherever's comfortable, out to the sides or down. We're gonna squeeze that ball, curl the ball up, and see if you can lift the tailbone and sacrum up. And then tap the ball to the floor. Scoop and lift. The slower you go, the more challenging it's gonna be. We have to use our muscles rather than momentum when we go slow. Scoop the belly and curl the tail up. So think of pressing the belly button down to curl that tail up. There's that opposition again. Squeezing the ball with the backs of the legs. Relax the neck. Can we go a little bit higher? 3. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift 2. And 1 more. Can we curl the tail even higher without lifting the shoulders? Lower the feet down and rest. Okay, let's come on up to kneeling. All right, so we're gonna kneel and we're gonna do some stretching here. Okay, so elbows onto that ball. And we've got some distance now between your thighs and the ball. So some space there. Okay, I want your knees directly underneath your hips. And walk your elbows fairly close together. I like palms together, or you can interlace those hands. Okay, this is a stretch for the shoulders and it can be kind of extreme, so be gentle. Hips are gonna stay over the knees. You're gonna push the ball forward. Begin to lift those hands up and draw your chest down. And just rest your face wherever you can. There's not a lot of space. Drawing your chest, your ribs, and your shoulders, your armpits down. About 30 more seconds. Start to sit back toward your heels. And let's take a child's pose here with your hands on top of the ball. So somewhat similar. Drawing your chest toward the floor. You can take the knees wider apart if you'd like. Releasing your head and armpits toward the floor. If this is too extreme for your shoulders, walk your hands down to the floor. or you can take your hands underneath your shoulders. But if it feels okay in the shoulders, keep those arms up. Take 2 more deep breaths. And let's roll up. Okay, we're gonna borrow from yoga just for a moment. So coming up onto the knees, so nice and high, we're gonna shift our weight over to one knee, step your other foot forward. And we're gonna find kind of a low lunge here. So you're shifting your pelvis forward, and I'm gonna use the ball here for my hands, or you can come down to your forearms. So sort of simulating a lizard pose in yoga. I want your right, or whatever foot is forward, for that ankle to be underneath your knee. So we don't want it to be this angle or this angle. We want the lower leg perpendicular to the floor. So we're melting the hips, stretching the hip flexor of that back leg. Relax the shoulders. Now if you wanted a deeper stretch, you could bend the knee behind you, reach back with your opposite hand and grab onto that foot. It's a lot more balance involved, so you're welcome to do that, or you can keep your arms resting on the ball. Now we're breathing here, allowing the pelvis to slowly melt toward the floor. The process of letting go of that engagement, pulling the abdominals up, and trying to relax the shoulders away from your neck. Again, finding that long, regal neck. As you find tension in your body, see if you can let it go, just gently, quietly, slowly. One more deep breath in, and deep breath out. Carefully bring yourself up to transition to the other side. Ooh. Take that knee back, and we switch. Same thing on the other side. Taking your foot forward, you can inch that foot forward as needed. Send the hips forward, hands can be on the ball, or you can have your forearms on the ball. Make sure that your shin is perpendicular to the floor, that front ankle is underneath your heel. What did I say? Front heel is underneath your knee. Shoulders away from the neck, belly button to spine. Now if you wanted that quad stretch, that extra stretch, you can bend the knee behind you, reach back with the opposite hand, and grab onto your foot. More balance involved, but do what you like. Slowly letting those hips melt toward the floor. Notice where you're holding tension. And as you notice, you can just relax from the inside. It's a time for strength, for pushing, for pulling, for being strong, and there's a time for surrender and letting go, and the time for surrender and letting go is this moment. There's this gorgeous poem by Nayyirah Waheed, and she says, and I'm probably paraphrasing, you don't have to be fire for every mountain in front of you. You can be like water and soft river your way to freedom. And when I'm stretching, I think about that. How can I be a river? How can I be like water? Okay, gently come out of that stretch. And we are all done. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.